So last night I slept really well. I slept a little too well on my right side, and now my shoulder's sore. So I'm gonna show you what I do whenever I have that kind of nagging ache in my shoulder. And yes, I've already tried the stretching, tried hanging from my bar, any kind of stretching. I've tried warming it up with the jiggle stick. None of that seems to be doing it. So I'm gonna show you exactly what I do whenever I have a soreness in my shoulder that stretching and warm-ups do not take care of. So some quick anatomy. Right here is where I feel that soreness. This area right here is my acromion. Right there is the tip of my acromion, and then I feel that soreness right in through there. What causes that is simply because I was laying on it, it did not get good blood flow. Just like anything else that doesn't get good blood flow, it's sore afterwards. We'll keep it that simple. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scrape, use muscle scraping right through there to help increase blood flow, to help loosen up those tissues. Because I can just feel it's not super painful, it's not sharp, it's just kind of that nagging area that I cannot stretch and get anything to loosen that up. So I'm gonna use a muscle scraping tool, gua sha bar, and a little coconut right there in that area along that deltoid. So in the front here, I have my greater tubercle, that's part of the humerus, and then as I wrap around, that's where a lot of those rotator cuff muscles come down and insert. That's probably what's irritating. So I'm just gonna use this tool here to kind of explore. And I can feel a spot right through there. As I go through the deltoid, that supraspinatus tendon is gonna be inserted right through there. So it's probably a combination of the deltoid muscle itself and those tendons that are just a little sore and inflamed because I slept on this shoulder. So I'm gonna work that area. I'm going in a downward stroke using the muscle scraper to help increase blood flow to it. This does not need to be complicated. This is no different than if I had the same soreness and I was massaging. The whole premise of a massage is to increase blood flow to an area. I'm gonna hang out in that area, scraping it until most of that discomfort that I feel has really decreased and dissipated. And then I will reassess. The nice thing about this situation is that tightness and discomfort I felt even at rest. So once I stop doing this, I have a simple test of how does it feel at rest? Better, worse, or no change? I can go right in through there. Kind of the middle part of mid-delt, anterior delt, as those two come together. Because right in here would be more anterior delt. I can feel a little bit in there, but not as much as I do right there. So I'm gonna hang out in that area, move back a little bit, and I'm going down because it's easier. Yes, traditional gua sha is very direction specific, but I don't care about that. Right now, I'm just going in the direction that's easier for me to physically perform that scraping motion. Now back in there, I can feel a little bit in there too, and I can feel as I go over the head of the humerus. So if this was my humerus, this is the humeral head. As that scraping's going over that head, that's where I feel most of that discomfort. So that's where I stay. No different than if you're foam rolling your IT bands and you hit a particular spot, well, what do? You hang out there, you roll it some more. You try to increase blood flow to the area to loosen it up. Think of this as my little mini foam roller for the shoulder, but a hell of a lot better. And so as I'm on that spot right there, it almost feels like a pressure now. It's no longer sore. And then I move back to my original spot, right in there. That feels like nothing. That just feels like a pressure. No more discomfort with it. I'm gonna explore a few other spots. Anterior delt, no big deal. Feeling pretty good. Go to the posterior delt. Nothing major in there. The next spot that I could check is actually right there on top of the acromion. It feels like you're on top of bone, but remember, that's where upper traps comes down. Upper traps comes down and inserts onto that acromion. So I'm gonna do a little checking out in that area, see if I find anything. Nothing major in the meat of the upper traps, right in through there. But when I get on top of the bone, I can feel it's a little sore. Nothing major, but right through there. And I am mostly on bone, but there is still soft tissue over that bone. The insertion point of that upper traps inserts onto that bone. When I'm laying flat on something, like going to sleep at night, that area can still get compressed and inflamed, so I want that loosened up as well. But right through there, That is, I'm kind of right in the area where my clavicle and my acromion meet. It's called your AC joint, acromioclavicular joint. And that's kind of where I'm at in that area. So I'm gonna hang out in that spot until most of that discomfort dissipates. And then I'm gonna move on with my life. That's a good little spot right there. Again, I'm going that direction because it's easier. This one feels awkward, so I'm gonna go this direction. Ideally, most of the time when I'm working on folks or myself, I want to try to clear out the most uncomfortable direction. So say in theory, if I was going from here towards my neck, if that was more uncomfortable, that would be the way I want to work. But again, this is awkward. And a lot of times just going the direction that's easier will clear out enough to make things feel a whole heck of a lot better. So I'd say right now, it just feels like a pressure. That main discomfort is really gone. It just feels like the pressure of a tool. And that's how I know I can be done. A lot of people think that for this gua sha or muscle scraping to work, you need to see the hickey marks, the petechiae, but you do not. As you can see right there, it's a little red, nothing major. I don't have any great big hickey marks. Sometimes those hickey marks will show up. Not a big deal. They truly are just a hickey. Your body will heal it, it'll go away. When a lot of us post online about this gua sha or muscle scraping or IASTM, instrument assisted soft tissue mobilization, and you'll see the petechiae, we get our asses reamed by other practitioners who are like, you can't do that, that's so wrong. It's fine. We stick needles in our body all the time for therapeutic purposes. These little petechiae marks, no big deal. But now when I stop and I assess at rest, how does this shoulder feel? I can already feel that I don't have that tension, that kind of nagging ache in that area. And then when I go to move my shoulder, it feels a lot more free. It feels like I can breathe, and I'm not noticing it. That's the key. Our bodies are designed to let us know when something's wrong, not when it feels good. So right now, free, pulled across, up, down, I don't have that ache, so I know I can be done. And there you go, there's a nice quick demonstration of what I do when I have just kind of a mild ache that's just kind of pissing me off that I want to go away.